righty, Matt Steinmetz, Daryl the Guru Johnson with you. It's 1:48. That means it's time for Willard and Dibs to join us. What's up, gentlemen? How you doing? They're joining us live from the Hilton Santa Clara.
Our guys.
Great show today, guys.
Yeah,
No doubt.
wow.
Great show today.
I had goosebumps.
What a wonderful show today.
Do you mean that Willard and Dibs chiming in? I'm like, they're messing with us.
I admire Steiny so much that sometimes I like to parrot him. And so,
to parrot.
I'm now on the YouTube feed, and I see that, a lot of people say this when a show comes, hey, great show, guys. And I'm like, oh, who said that? Oh, Matthew Steinmetz. Great show today, guys. So great job, Matt. I'd like to say, boy, great show that's about to happen today.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyway, great show.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if you guys know this. I know Guru does, but I'm having a hell of a year. And
it's a fraud.
You exposed him, Dibs. I'll never forget.
Exposed nothing.
Yeah.
There was one thing.
I felt bad about it. Not really.
A great year doing what? What do you mean you're having a great year?
Here we go,
A great year
Willard.
with what?
Everything I say is
He wants examples.
take it to the bank.
Oh, okay.
The Warriors have no interest in Chris Paul. I think the Warriors have interest in Chris Paul.
Okay, that's one.
Yeah.
Hang in there with the Giants. They're going to be competitive. They're 500.
If that was
right on the money.
your second example,
Right on the money.
then I would
Booth
say your
review.
list is not that
Right
long.
on the money.
Yeah.
4 games back with 11 to play.
What
That's
about
all you
you
can
got
ask for.
Ayuk wrong? You said he was going to play.
I said he should play, and I'm still right about that.
Dallas in 5.
That's wow.
Oh boy, that
He
was
hit
2
below
years
the
ago.
belt, Willard.
That was last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
I'm having a hell of a year.
Just a
Yeah.
thing that went through my head.
You know what? That doesn't count because you snookered me. That was before I knew that Willard had a mean streak.
I didn't do anything. I just I read and react, Steiny. That's
I
all
need your
do.
guys' help.
I said the
I've been
Warriors
doing
weren't
this
gonna win
for
it
4
last year.
hours. How is this going? I know it's the NFL. I'm being honest, guys. Talk to me about how this can be a close game.
I don't know. There's not a lot that makes sense that suggests that, but sometimes the NFL doesn't make sense. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, how could it be? It could be an injury. It could be a fluke play. It can be that weird sort of like the football gods start doing, like turnovers. I guess I'd say that. Funny bounces that go the way of the other team that keep it close. I am interested now that we know Brandon Ayuk is out to see what the offense does to sort of like redirect itself there. That's an interesting one, I think.
What about the mobile quarterback theory that, 49ers sometimes struggle against those guys?
Yeah, and that was going to be my answer. 2 words, Danny Dimes, because he is very good at being a mobile quarterback, and they don't have a run game. And Goo and I talked about it actually on Liquidate All Assets with a new episode dropping tomorrow.
There you
Make
go.
sure you
Thank you.
like, subscribe, and do everything you can to get the content right to you. I did like the Daniel Jones over on rushing yardage because he's going to have to run the ball. And the Niners do struggle with mobile quarterbacks. They're going to run a lot of zone read, a lot of zone offense in terms of the ground game. And I think that Jones is going to be a big threat on the ground because they don't have much else, guys.
What's that number, Dibs?
I think it was 46.5. I'll have to confirm it.
Speaking of numbers, I don't know if you guys have looked. I'm always fascinated to know basically what is a player worth on the spread. So there has been movement since the Ayuk announcement, and I'm going to attribute it to him because the line was not about to move when that announcement happened, and it's now moved. What do you think Brandon Ayuk is worth? How many points?
I'm going to say a point. So it went from 11 to 10.
Yeah.
Dibs, Steiny?
A point and a half.
I'd say a half point.
Pay that man his money. Dan Dibley is correct.
My gosh.
Half point. It went from 10.5 about 10 minutes ago to 10.
Well, Guru may have just made a bet. Maybe that's what moved the line.
That's
Well, and it also depends on where you shop because I'm looking at Mark's website. Hint, hint, wink,
Yeah.
wink. And
live line. Yep.
he's got the Niners -10, and I'm looking at mine, Guru, which is yours, and it's the Niners -11.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you better get an account over at mine and
Now,
get a free point.
there
Free
you
point
go.
right now. Free point.
Free point,
Yeah.
free point.
Mark Willard, bet,
the
bet,
first
bet, bet, bet,
seven
bet, bet.
callers get
Yeah,
a free point.
exactly.
I'm going to say this. I don't think that 10 or 11 is going to be the difference. I think that this one is a good old-fashioned red beats blue kind of a ball game. And, Goo, I talked about it on the Liquidate, and I do think that the Niners are going to put up 4 touchdowns. I like the over on 3.5 touchdowns for the Niners.
Yeah.
This one feels to me like a little bit of a 33-17 kind of a ball game. So 10, 11, whatever you want, I'm taking the Niners.
Can I run a theory by you three?
Run it, Chris Brown.
So I know it's the NFL. Guys get hurt. But news just broke out of Dallas that they lost their best cornerback, Diggs,
Yes.
to a torn ACL. My theory is the Niners hear this, and they're like, you know what? There's no reason in hell to rush Ayuk out there. Sit this one out. Was that a laugh? Steiny's
My
son
man,
Willard
you
laughed.
know how much I love you. You're telling me that the 49ers are sitting Brandon Ayuk because Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL?
Not just Trayvon. It goes back to the Rodgers, the Chubb, just to err on the side of caution.
To me, these things are all in a vacuum every single week. This is the 49ers inside their own facility playing a risk-reward and pain management situation, and it's got nothing to do with the outside world. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that he was going to sit, and I've said it all week. And if you think about where we are, and the shoulder is not 100%, and you've got a game not after tonight, but in 10 days, so why not rest him? You should be able to beat the Giants without Brandon Ayuk, and so go ahead and rest him. And if you find your way into a spot where you can't beat New York without Brandon Ayuk, well, then you aren't the team that we thought you were.
Can I? And I'm not. I'm being very sincere here. I don't think it's about the opponent. I don't.
I agree with you.
I think
you.
if they were playing Dallas this weekend, I don't think he'd play.
I don't know. Like, situationally, to me, I think, opponent, what if it's a game late in the season and you need it a little bit more?
Yeah.
Like, that's where, but I agree with you largely. I don't think it's because, I don't think coaches look at things the way we do. I don't think coaches go into a game against the New York Giants and go, well, we got this one. So, we don't need our best players in order to do it. I think coaches are way too much driven by anxiety, driven by fear of job loss, embarrassment, all this. Like, again, as we've been saying all week, the New York Giants pay millions of dollars for their players and coaches too. This is an NFL game. Nothing is given. If Brandon were ready to play, he'd play. But he must not be healthy enough to go.
Yeah, Steiny also brought up the point earlier, Mark. Dibs, you tell me what you think. If the Niners were a different team and didn't have all this luxury at their disposal and they were a team clawing for a playoff spot coming into the season, I know it's week 3. Maybe we see Ayuk out there because you can't afford not. You know what I mean? Like, but they're so loaded, you can kind of, sit this one out, fella.
Exactly, and I think that that's a fair point in terms of like the decision they make. If this is late December and you need a win to get in the playoffs or you need a win to get the 1 seed, he probably is playing, but it's week 3, and I do think that the opponent factors into it because you're favored by 10 or 11, 10 and a half, wherever your book says, whatever your book says the spread should be. You are that big of a favorite with everybody on the roster, and if Brandon Ayuk can't play, you're still favored to beat the New York Giants, and the Giants don't have their running back, and it's the home opener, and I'm looking at all the fans now streaming in.
Wow.
And there's some blue. There's I see Phil Sims.
Yeah.
I see Lawrence Taylor.
I got 3
I see
people.
Saquon.
3 people in blue
Saquon's
jerseys.
there?
No, Saquon is here, and he's a middle-aged white guy, but he's here.
Good.
And I saw Thibodeau in the bathroom, and he's an 11-year-old kid. But it's going to be a big-time red crowd. The fans are going to be hyped, and I don't think that Ayuk or no Ayuk is going to be the difference tonight.
from the 510. We hear this a lot, and it's always something that I laugh about.
Give it to me.
They already said, I guess they already said he can't hurt himself worse.
Okay, easy for you to say.
I mean, yeah, he can.
Well, I know what he means, or she, whoever's texting in. Like, they did say it's just a matter of pain management, but maybe that pain is excessive. Maybe you also could look at it as, I think what you're saying, Steiny, is you could always make it worse in an NFL game. You can create 4 new injuries. You don't want Brandon Ayuk out there favoring one side, putting something that is injured in the way. Like, look at what I think the key to this game tonight is, or the reason, Goo, I'd answer your question by saying I'm struggling to find out how it's going to be close.
Yes.
With or without Brandon Ayuk, take a look at what the New York Giants defense has put on film already this year. And I cannot figure out how the 49ers, unless they bumble it, how they're not going to get a first down every time they want it. I don't like this. Josh Dobbs ran up and down the field on this team.
No doubt.
So it's not, you don't need an Ayuk. It's just like, this offense it's just too good. It's just too good for this opponent.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Steiny and Evan asked me a fascinating question. I'm going to pose it to you two. I'm not, I'm objective. I'm being real when I answer this question. And if TJ Watt is listening, this is no shade at you. But the fellas asked me, if you could have Bosa or Parsons, who would you take? And fundamentally, who I am, I want that big, oversized anchor, Michael Strahan, Reggie White on my front. Parsons is a freak of nature, but I can tell you two, I know for a fact, they are confused at times. Should he have his hand in the ground? Should we play him at backer? He's incredible, but he's not the biggest specimen, so he tires. I know Bosa tires, but if I asked you who would you take, Bosa or Parsons, my answer was Bosa. How would you two answer that?
I would say Micah Parsons, just because he's more of a specialized wind him up and let him go kind of a player. And, Nick Bosa, I was listening earlier, and Steiny it was a denigration sensation from Steiny. He hasn't had a sack in 7 games or 5 games.
No, he's had one in the last 7.
Yeah, okay, because you gave the stat, and then you actually made fun of the fact that you gave a stat based on the way you want to give a stat.
That's what you do.
It's exactly what you do. And it's funny because the Giants have won 5. They're 5-20 in their last 25 road games. But if you go 5 games further back, they're actually 10-20.
Thank you.
Because they won 5 in a row before that skid started.
Told you they'd be competitive.
They're 5-25 in their last 30.
Whatever.
Yeah,
but,
whatever.
So they're actually 10-25 in their last 35.
Correct.
Based on stats. So Steiny's got me jaded against Bosa. Steiny, you're right. Bosa's no good.
But you had it first. I'm shocked, Dibs.
You know what?
Yeah.
This is a legacy game tonight for Bosa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see if he can meet the moment. Listen, first of all, I think any fan of any team, when a question is posed like that, you lean towards your guy because he's your guy.
And I'm being real, Willie.
I know you are, but I would take Bosa, and I'm going to admit that part of the reason is that he's the guy that we know better. But the other side to it, I do think that there's more data that suggests that Bosa has a trickle-down effect on the rest of the defense that is intense. The rest of the pass rushers are better because of the attention put to him. The defensive backfield is better because of the attention put to Bosa. I see Bosa on the defense like C-Mac is on the offense.
Wow.
C-Mac, the attention that goes to him makes all those other receivers that much more open.
Interesting.
That makes some sense.
It's what I do, Steiny.
What's that?
It's what I do. We're about to do a great show.
5:15 kickoff, Amazon Prime at Levi Stadium. What's that? Paint the picture.
What's
Paint
it like?
the picture down there.
Well, okay. So first of all, you don't have to. All you got to do. I already put a picture of exactly what we're looking at on both Twitter and Instagram, so you can take a look at that. But we are sitting in the beautiful Hilton Santa Clara, and our particular view. We'll give you two views, but the one we're looking at. There's food trucks and a big tailgate right out our window, which is a ceiling-to-floor window.
Wow.
And it is quickly filling up with 90% Niner fans and then Yahoos in LT jerseys. So there's a few of those, but there's food, there's drink.
OBJ. I see Jeremy Shockey over here.
I saw Brandon Stokely,
I thought he was a free
I saw
agent.
Eli Manning is here.
But if you do go around the corner to the lobby of the Hilton, that is, it's almost like you need a 49er jersey on just to get in.
Well, Guru's got one.
Yeah, the bar
We both.
is. You both do, I know.
Yeah.
The bar is already very full. Eating, drinking, pre-gaming, and a lot of music. And by the way, a sparkling day.
Wow.
Gosh, the weather
Beautiful.
couldn't be better.
I'm on my way. 49er Frankie, one of my best friends. You only can have one best friend. I got a few. He
Sure.
got a ticket, so I'm on my way. You guys will be done by the time I get down there, though.
Probably not.
Probably not.
So you're going to miss the first quarter?
It's 2 o'clock.
Yeah. I like your chances of getting down here. More Giants fans, I think, than
pregame
Mark
guys.
is going to portray. I would say just in terms of what we've seen in front of us, maybe more 80-20, 85-15, but the vibe is right.
Wow.
And not, honestly, Guru, the amount of smoke in the air quality, better than I would have thought it was going to be.
A little sticky icky.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean,
good
that air
AQI.
quality's not great.
I think he's
It's a good
actually
AQI
talking about
down here.
real.
Oh,
air
yeah.
quality.
I was
thought
talking
you
about the
the
real
Barack
fires,
Obama.
not the impromptu fires, because I saw like a 3-alarm blaze break out in the tailgate. But I mean, don't let that get in the way of a good time. Cough.
All right, hey boys, I don't want to pick a scab, but we've all been listening all day, and I like just let's be real.
Just pick that scab.
Go, are you honestly concerned because of three throws that didn't look perfect?
Willard,
Is
listen,
there honest concern?
Mark, I'm worried about Brock
Willard,
in the
I
deep
appreciate
ball.
it.
And before you answer, add the other QB in the NFL who hasn't had 3 missed throws so far this year.
Willard, I thought you were in my corner before you even posed this question, but you bit in the rotten apple. You've been poisoned. Hell no, I'm not concerned. This dude has been so fantastic that those 3 throws were the only thing I could remotely not even pick at, say, that wasn't the best.
Goo, hold on. I listened all day.
Go ahead.
And I know exactly what Steiny does to you. It's on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I've noticed the cadence. Today's a Thursday. So I know how he was trying to pigeonhole you and put a labal on your forehead
Shout
that
out
doesn't
Cadence
exist.
13.
But I also hear you say things like, but those 3 throws are on his ledger.
But Mark,
I hear you, and I want to know why that sticks with you.
Listen.
Because if you've watched Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or
Thanks, Mark.
Herbert or anyone else, nobody goes through 2 games without missing 3 throws, and I don't hear anyone after those games go, well, wait a minute, like 30 points again, 2-0.
No, Mark, those words came out of my mouth. What I've been doing when you hear me recite those numbers is Dr. Phil for everybody that calls and texts. We got to see more. Even Peter King. But Peter King gave a compliment within that. That was the bridge. Mark, hell no, I'm not concerned. What I'm doing is fast forwarding a DVR. If we saw that 8 more times, we could then say there's something happening here. Buffalo Springfield. Yeah. That's all.
Right, but
I'm not concerned, Mark. I
appreciate it, Mark.
I'm not.
I'm encouraging the hell out of the 49er fan base to stop doing the if and then fill in what December and January look like. We got a home freaking opener.
Yeah.
The team is 2-0.
The tailgate is popping.
It is September, and I refuse to lose out on 15 more good times because we're worried about February in September. Sure. How many teams have learned just this week? The Cowboys, the Browns.
Man.
Right? Life changes in an instant.
It does.
Right? And
comes at you fast.
So let's see where that goes. But I just don't like that. Doesn't even feel like a reasonable if.
Yeah,
you know what I
thank
mean?
you, Mark.
Yeah. My best friend heard me
Which
say
one?
that I put you
49er
that I put
Frankie?
it no Steiny that I put in the file. So what he did subconsciously is say, I'm gonna make it seem like Goo is concerned. And that's how this
Well, you
took
have a
off.
file on the guy in the first place.
You have we all have
do you have a
files.
file on Bosa?
Little injury issue. Yeah, nothing to see here.
You don't have a file.
We got a $5 donation. You got to
No.
read it before we get out of here.
Yeah,
I don't
see
have my-
that.
you gotta
I
find
see
that.
that, yeah.
Great show, fellas, like the guys told us. This
Yeah.
is from Jim Mate. Reminder, I'm buying
Mole.
beers tomorrow at Old Ship after work. Wow, beers to
Yeah.
get your own apps. Next up, Dubs and Dibs.
I noticed that he didn't
Willard-
say great show, fellas, until we joined.
Yeah.
I noticed that. He
Man,
waited.
that's
You
got
gotta
to
say the
burn,
tone.
Steiny.
You
He
know
waited, Steiny.
That's got to
He
burn,
waited.
Steiny.
He waited.
Yeah, it
It's 2:08. I know who's getting credit for this show.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and
look at
Steiny's
it.
just a
That's
little. Steiny's a little grumpy because I lived his dream today. Dawn Patrol at Baylands
Oh.
with
So
Dave
good.
and
Incorrect.
Unky J.
So good.
Alex brought
Stop
his
it,
dog.
Dibs, stop
The doggy was out. We had a wonderful time, and Steiny's in here grinding over deep throws with the goo. It's okay,
boy.
Steiny. You're gonna get yours,
But
Yo, I'm
Willard,
going to get
nothing to
mine
see
in
here
about
from your
4
boy.
minutes. How about you?
dude. I'm out here enjoying the clouds.
What'd you shoot? What'd you shoot today?
89. Yeah, a couple of triples. The 11th hole at Baylands is a joke.
That's a tough one. That's a tough
joke.
long par
Did
4.
you say that on the tee, or did you say that after you put up a triple?
I said it after I hit my ball into the hat. And
Yeah.
I was choppy right,
Yeah.
further right,
Look at
further. I was so far right, they were calling me Mitch McConnell.
That's not bad.
Thanks.
Hey,
not
give me,
bad.
before
That's a
we
4.
leave, give me
I'm
the
taking it.
Nahegian
I thought you were up at the
update.
tee and you couldn't move for 10 seconds.
I always study the boss on remotes. Is he tight? Is he wound up? Or is he relaxed?
No, he's super laid back.
Okay.
I walked in here at about 1:20. Nahegian's sitting here by himself. Looked like he had his
boy.
feet up. He was like posting things on Instagram. I go, "Have you seen Dibs?" He goes, "No, I haven't." But like, whatever. Bathroom's that way.
Wow,
he
relax.
was chilling. He was chilling, man.
Oh, wow. For you.
It's because he knows the New York Giants are in town and they're going to win by 20.
I come in with a sunburn and, a tea in my ear, and he's like, "Oh, Dibs, your sunburn? I don't feel like you're ready for the show. I'm out."
Sunburn doesn't look good on YouTube.
Exactly.
Did he look at your sunburn and go, cook, cook, cook?
I'm gonna give you a
That's a
three.
rare 5 from Steiny.
Boy.
I'm giving him a 5.
Great show,
Thank you.
Steiny.
Yeah,
All
really
right.
Well, you guys
nice show.
crush it. We'll see
Let
you
me
tomorrow.
end on a high note
Yes.
there, gentlemen.
Oh, my God, Steiny.
All right.
Steiny, are you coming? Why aren't you coming? Are you not coming? Wow, you sounded like I just asked you where were you last night. Holy hell, you got tripped up on that one.
They got to prove to me they're a contender first. Then I'll get down to Levi.
You're the man.
All right, gentlemen,
Take
have
it
a great
easy,
time
guys.
down
All right,
there.
Steiny.
What?